Modern militaries vacuum up an astonishing amount of information. Every hour, intelligence agencies collect terabytes of drone feeds, intercepted cell signals, and satellite imagery. It is a continuous, crushing wave of data. But collecting that data is only the first step. The system has a strict physical limit: the human analyst. Intelligence officers can only process so many screen feeds and intercepted calls at once. Military strategists call this structural flaw the human bottleneck. When the flow of information vastly outpaces the number of human eyes available to look at it, the consequence is inevitable. Essential warnings regarding troop movements or impending attacks pile up unseen. Critical intelligence simply slips right past the analysts because there isn't enough time to process it all. Finding a way to widen that bottleneck became the highest priority for the world's top military minds. They needed a way to process intelligence at the exact speed of collection, a drive for efficiency that would eventually lead to a deeply controversial automated solution. The architect of that solution was a phantom. Known to the public only by the initials YS, this Israeli military intelligence officer was a rising star. In 2018, his work developing an artificial intelligence-based anti-terrorism project won him the prestigious Israel Defense Prize. His career tracked a steady ascent through the highest echelons of the military, culminating in a massive promotion in February 2021. He became the commander of Unit 8200, Israel's elite signals intelligence division, and the direct counterpart to the American NSA. Shortly after taking command, YS did something highly unusual for a master spy. He published a public book. Titled The Human-Machine Team, it laid out his master plan for integrating algorithms into warfare. The book functioned as a step-by-step manual for how his agency would fight its next war. He detailed frameworks for fusing human and artificial intelligence to process massive datasets, creating what he called target machines. YS had successfully engineered a highly complex targeting doctrine, but his absolute reliance on this automated system to keep his country safe would eventually contribute to its most devastating failure. The general built his doctrine around a concept he called havruta, a Hebrew term repurposed to describe a synergetic learning link between human and machine. If the AI could do the heavy lifting of sorting data, human analysts could elevate their thinking to achieve supercognition. In practice, this philosophy birthed automated target machines. Instead of humans combing through surveillance logs to identify threats, the system used machine learning to instantly isolate potential targets from a sea of noise. This real-world application became known as Lavender. During the Gaza conflict, it converted vast, interconnected data into a mechanized list of strike coordinates at a blinding pace. Lavender allowed the military to scale their operations vastly beyond previous physical constraints. They were no longer waiting for a person to verify every individual data point. The algorithm was generating targets faster than any human team ever could. By eliminating the human bottleneck, the commander traded human intuition for algorithmic speed, handing over life and death intelligence sorting to a machine. For over 20 years, the identity of this architect remained a closely guarded state secret. That ended abruptly in April 2024, thanks to an astonishingly basic operational security error. Journalists at The Guardian published an investigation that shattered his decades of careful anonymity, uncovering the real man behind the YS pseudonym. Sariel's exposure was traced to the digital version of his book sold on Amazon, which contained an anonymous email address that left a clear digital trail. That anonymous email was directly tied to a private Google account. It displayed his real name, Yossi Sariel, and provided links to his maps and calendar. The man commanding one of the most capable signals intelligence units on Earth, a visionary who built an automated surveillance empire, had accidentally doxed himself by failing to secure his own personal web browser. But Sariel's personal exposure was a minor embarrassment compared to the systemic collapse his unit experienced months earlier, on October 7, 2023. The reliance on massive data processing came with a severe trade-off. By focusing so heavily on artificial intelligence, tech-driven surveillance, and digital footprints, the agency neglected traditional, on-the-ground human intelligence gathering. This imbalance created a vast structural blind spot. Because the automated systems were designed to look for specific digital signals, they entirely missed the analog, physical preparations being conducted right across the border. Lavender was built to calculate targets at lightning speed, but it lacked basic intuition. A network of human informants, the exact resource marginalized by the new doctrine, might have noticed the real-world anomalies that algorithms couldn't see. Sariel viewed human judgment primarily as an inefficiency, a bottleneck that needed to be engineered away. By optimizing solely for data flow, his agency achieved a technological triumph that directly facilitated a massive intelligence failure. Facing intense public scrutiny, Sariel's position became untenable. In September 2024, he publicly resigned from his command of Unit 8200, formally accepting personal responsibility for the catastrophic intelligence lapses under his watch. The military establishment went a step further the following year. In November 2025, IDF Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir dismissed Sariel from reservist duty entirely, ending his military career over the failures of his operational doctrine. Yossi Sariel spent his life mastering digital intelligence, only to be undone by the exact technological philosophy he championed. His theoretical frameworks for supercognition didn't stay in a server room. They translated into devastating physical consequences on the ground, directing munitions into neighborhoods at a volume enabled only by machine learning. Artificial intelligence can process the world at the speed of light, but when organizations treat human judgment simply as an inefficiency to be erased, the systems they build become incredibly powerful and dangerously blind.